keep your mic on mute. Alright. So now moving over to the concepts of object-oriented programming. What do you mean by object-oriented programming? Fine. Uh, Look, I'll just create a class over here. Okay, and a very simple example. Fine. I'll create a class known as, say, mobile phone. Okay. Now, what are the features of mobile phone? You can write, say, string, uh, company of the phone, which company the phone belongs to. Okay, int price of the phone. So these are the two features of any phone, right? These are variables. Okay, technically this is known as non-static global variable. Now what do you mean by non-static? I will tell you in some time. Okay, this is also a non-static global variable. Fine. Similarly, guys, you don't need a camera in this training, so please turn off your cameras. Okay, you don't need a camera. Now over here, you can have a function like public void call. Inside it, I can write mobile phone calling. Right. So this is known as, technically this is known as non-static function. Right. So I have created a phone class. There are two properties of that class. Right. Company, price. There is a function call. Okay. And what I can do is that I can create a new class over here. Say I'll just call that class as test. And what I will do is that in the test class, I will have the main function. Right. In the main function, I will create object of the mobile phone class. By creating object, I mean to say I will write new mobile phone. Okay. Right. Fine. So over here, this is the object of the mobile phone class. Okay. Inside this object, right, you will have two variables. One would be the name, price, and you will also have the call function. But this object you cannot access it. To access the object, you need to have object reference like this. Mobile phone, say M1 equals to new mobile phone. Just a minute. Okay, right. And what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? This means that M1 is a reference which is pointing towards this mobile phone object. This is known as object reference. M1 is the object reference. This is the object. Object and object references, they are different. Object reference, it points towards the object. With object reference, you can change the state of the object. I can write over here M1 dot, what was the property? Company. Not name, but company. Company is, say, company iPhone. Okay. M1 dot price is, say, 100. M1 dot call. So when you call the call function, mobile phone calling, and along with it, I will print the company of the phone as well. So when you run it, it will print, sorry, the test class, when you run it, it will print, just a minute, it executed the last one. You can also run a file by right clicking on it and selecting the option run as Java application. Right, it will print mobile phone calling iPhone. Okay, because the name of the phone was iPhone. So what happens is that we have an object. In that object we have got three variables: company, price, and the call function. So the company for this mobile phone becomes iPhone, right? Price as 100, right? And when the call function is called, it will print the company of the current object itself, and M1 is pointing towards this, right? Similarly, I can create multiple objects. I can create M2. Okay, right. So mobile phone M2 is the reference, and this is the object. Okay, right. M2 is the reference of mobile phone class, and this is the object. So M2 will point towards a M2 will point towards new object, and this object will have its own company, price, and call function, right? So you can write over here, say M2 dot company is Nokia, M2 dot price is 50, and M2 dot call. So when you call the M2 dot call function, okay, and when you run it, this will print mobile phone calling Nokia. Okay, right? Fine. Now M1 and M2 are two object references pointing towards two different objects. If I print over here M1 dot name, sorry, M1 dot company, not name, company, and M2 dot company, and if I run it, obviously it will print M1 company was iPhone and M2 was Nokia. Now on the next line, if I write like this, M1 equals to M2, here where the difference comes up. Okay, M1 was pointing here and M2 was pointing here. By writing M1 equals to M2, I am asking M1 not to point here, and M1 will now start pointing towards the same object to which M2 was pointing. Object references, they can change in the memory, but objects, they will always remain the same. Okay, so now after writing this, if I print both the things, right, hold on, I will print a demarcation line in between. So if I run it, it will print Nokia and Nokia because M2 was Nokia. Okay, now if either of them changes the state of the object, if I write M1 dot company is, say, company Z, and I print both of them, then both of them will print Z. Why? Because both of them are pointing towards the same object. One of them can update the state of the object and the next one will get the updated state. So if you are able to understand this, you are able to understand most of the things. That object is different and object reference is different. Right? With object reference, you can change the state of the object, and object references, they can be moved across objects. Okay. Now in the mobile phone class, say I create a variable int number of batteries. Now every mobile phone has got one battery. Okay. So over here, whenever we create the object, we'll initialize like m1 dot number of batteries equals to 1. Similarly, m2 dot number of batteries 1. No matter how many objects I make, I will always keep this value as 1. So instead of doing this again and again, okay, for every object, we don't do it like this. We make this variable static. Static is something which is common for all the objects. Okay, these are all the objects. Static will reside somewhere out here in the memory, where it is common for all the objects. It is not the part of the object if you write static, and it can be accessed directly with the class name. I can write over here mobile phone dot number of batteries. You'll get the option equals to 1. So all the mobile phones will have 1 battery. Okay, but you cannot access company or price or call functions. Non-static variables have to be accessed by creating the object of the class. Static variables can be accessed directly. I cannot write mobile phone dot company equals to some company. No, it's not valid. Okay, right. So these are the basic principles of object-oriented programming. You create the objects like this and then access the static functions and variables. And that's what we do in Selenium as well. Okay, if I create a new class over here, call that class as Selenium Basics. Okay, and if I create the object like this of a class known as Firefox Driver. Okay, you will have to import Firefox Driver. It's very simple. Okay, you write over here Firefox Driver fd equals to new Firefox Driver. You move your mouse over this and you will have the import option. Okay, you import this class. So when you write this line, when you create the object of Firefox Driver, you will be able to open a blank Firefox window. Okay, right. On this object you can fire functions which are present in Firefox Driver class. Firefox Driver dot, you will see so many functions. Okay, non-static functions. One of them is get. If you supply the URL of the website where you want to visit, it will take you to that website. If you run this code, you will see that Firefox browser will launch and it will take you to yahoo.com. Right? Okay, so this is how it works. Similarly for Chrome, every browser we have a driver. We have Chrome driver for Chrome. If you just write Chrome over here in Eclipse and you hit Control space bar. Okay, Deepak, I'll come over to the functions. Just be with me. I'll come over to them. Right. So if you write Chrome and hit Control space bar, you will get all the classes starting with the letter Chrome or the word Chrome. Right. You select the first one, Chrome driver, and it will be imported as well. Okay. Sabir, just be with me. I'll tell you everything. You will come to know. Okay. So Chrome driver cd equals to new. You can create the object of Chrome driver and you will be able to work on Chrome. But in order to work on Chrome, okay, what you need to do is that you need to write over here first of all you need to download an exe from the official website of Selenium. Okay, go to the download section and over here scroll down, you will see Chrome driver. Right, you click on this link, you will see Chrome driver 2.23. you go over here, go here and you will be taken to the downloads page. Download it for your operating system. If you have 32-bit or 64-bit Windows, you can take it from here. Okay, I have kept the exe file in my F drive drivers. This is the file. You don't have to run it. Okay, just keep it over here, note the path. Okay, and write the line system dot set property. Okay, listen to this carefully. You'll have to write like this: WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver, and give the path to the exe file of Chrome driver dot exe. This is mandatory. If you don't do this, you will get an error. In Java, you have to give double slash. Okay. What is system? System is an inbuilt class, and set property is a static function in that class. That is why I am able to call it directly with the class name, because I told you static can be accessed directly with the class name. Right. And on this Chrome driver, you can fire the function get. Similarly, you can put yahoo.com. Fine. Okay. So system dot set property webdriver dot chrome dot driver, you have to do it. If you don't do this and if you run it, you will get an exception. Okay, the path to driver executable must be set by this system property. Okay, so you put this line, and when you run it, driver executable Chrome, okay, spelling mistake was there, yeah, right. When you run it now, you will see Chrome launching and going to Yahoo. So basically, hold on, okay, it's not open somehow, it's okay, right. Basically, system is a class, just like mobile phone we had a class, right, and number of batteries was a static variable. So we were accessing the variable like mobile phone dot number of batteries. Similarly, there is an inbuilt class system, and set property is a static function inside it. So we can access this function without creating the object of the class. Okay, right. And similarly, for Internet Explorer, okay, for I, fine, you will have to download an exe again from the official website of Selenium under the download section. You will have this link, Internet Driver Explorer, Internet Explorer Driver Server. Based on the 32-bit or 62-bit I, whatever you have to download it, and you keep it over here under drivers, iDriverServer.exe. Fine. And again, you have to give the path. For I, you have to write system.set property webdriver.i.driver, and in the value you have to give the path of iDriver server exe file. Okay, so Safari doesn't work well on Selenium with Selenium. Okay, so if you don't do this, you will get an error. These are third-party drivers. You have to do it. Then only you can work with Internet Explorer and all those stuff. You create the object of Internet Explorer driver. I equals to new Internet Explorer driver. Okay, take that driver to, sorry, I.get, and you specify the URL. If you don't do this, okay, guys, turn off your cameras. You don't need cameras here. Okay, if you don't do this, you will get an error. You get an exception. An exception will clearly tell you that executable must be set by webdriver.i.driver. Okay, right. So when you remove this, it will run. You have to set some system properties. So now I will run and it will take you to Yahoo. Now one thing is there in I, you have to make sure that your zoom level is set to 100%. Otherwise you will get an exception. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Look, don't concentrate on these values. Okay, if you have to set any system property for Chrome, for IE or anything, okay, if you want to set the property system.set property, a name is, I put my name Ashish, I can put it. It is a concept in Java. Okay, right. So this is just a static function in which you can send variable things without creating the object. Okay. So you can pass over any argument and that will be set it in your system, that will be set as a property and you can retrieve it as well. Okay. So basically this is how it works. You have to write this line. There is no other alternative. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Apart from these, there are other drivers as well. Safari driver is there, but it is not, it is not stable. Okay, right. Shilpa, if you want to use latest version of Firefox, use Selenium 3. Okay. If you like, there is another driver known as Opera driver, which is again not stable. There is something known as remote WebDriver, which we will be studying. Okay, we'll study this when we'll study Selenium GRID, that is how to run the tests parallelly and all. There is Edge driver for Microsoft Edge. Fine, but majorly we use these three things. Okay, right. So anybody with any other question? Okay. Now coming over to the concept of constructors and all I will take up with you when I will teach you, Firefox driver profiling and all on day 5. Then I'll tell you about constructors, not now. Okay. So next thing is interfaces. This is okay. These are various, this is how you create the object. I told you, you create the object of driver classes and you start working with it. Okay. So the next thing is on interfaces. What I'll do is that I'll stop here for today. I know time is left, lot of time is left, but I don't want to, take up things very fast. Okay, we'll cover 2 days topics in every day and we will end the class today. Okay, if you have any questions, you can let me know.